My name is Erica Marie Morris, and you are listening to the Candle Business Podcast, where we talk all things about starting, running, and growing a successful candle business. From marketing to mental health, I cover a wide range of real-life topics that involve the crazy and wonderful ups and downs that is being a small business owner. Thank you so much for joining me today, listening to today's podcast. As always, I really appreciate you coming and hanging out with me as we talk about all of these different topics, candle business related. And as you can tell, I have switched up how I have started off these podcast episodes, just getting right into the introduction and then right into the topic. And as I was writing this out, I decided to throw the word successful in front of candle business. And that is the topic that I wanted to discuss in today's episode. Also, before I get too much into today's topic, I did want to let you know, because I have new listeners all the time, that if you are somebody who is wanting to get started with a candle business, maybe you're close to launching or you're thinking about launching a business this year, I do have a free download. It is a candle business launch checklist. I've had thousands of you download this and let me know that it is really helpful for you for getting started. And when you download it, you also get on my email list as well. So feel free to go to ericamarieMorris.com/checklist, and this will allow you to download the candle business launch checklist. And I really hope that it helps you out as you are getting started with your candle business journey. Over the years, I have had many of you reach out to me or leave comments, DM me on Instagram, and tell me that you aspire to have a successful candle business like myself. And I have to be completely honest that sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of the times, I have felt a little bit like an imposter when it comes to this whole successful candle business thing, because I too am somebody who is just growing my business every day, doing the best I can, learning, taking everything that I'm learning and trying to implement it into a day-to-day routine, figuring out where the best places are to grow the business, and just kind of going about my day-to-day just as a regular person who has never really, had any kind of education or mentorship or anything that when it comes to business. And that's why on my YouTube channel and on my podcast, I like to really bring kind of more of a real life, realistic, transparent kind of viewpoint on the whole perspective of starting and running a business as somebody who has not had any kind of formal training or education on the topic. So when it comes to the word success and how we think about the term success, I think that a lot of times, and me included, always think about success being monetary, success being financial, having a dollar figure, being wealthy, and that's what makes you successful. And, I've really been kind of somebody who has always kind of thought, oh yeah, somebody is successful, then they're making a ton of money. And I kind of think that there are different variations and definitions of what success can be, because you can have success in different areas of your life that don't involve money at all whatsoever. And I feel like I've been successful in so many different things in my life, specifically in the last 3 years, that wasn't due to something that I was earning, wasn't due to, monetary value. So the way that I have thought about success, in terms of my own business, and the reason why I've always thought, oh, I'm an imposter, when people say that, and it kind of makes me feel like, man, like, are people seeing me as like this huge, super successful business? And why is that? And I kind of was digging deeper because, I'm very transparent when talking about my income, when talking about the fact that, we do not live off of the candle business income alone. That's something we're working towards, and it's definitely a goal. And, I try to be as transparent as possible, but yet, there's a lot of people that still view it as a successful candle business. And, it has taken me a little bit to really think and acknowledge, like, are we successful? Is this successful? You know, what is that real definition? What am I actually looking for when it comes to the word success and how it relates to business, and specifically with our business? And I know I keep going back and forth between saying I and our. I do it all the time. I'm so used to saying my business because I solely was the one to start it, but now it's our business because my husband Chris is a huge, massive part of the business now because he does all of the production, inventory, all that kind of stuff. The physical part of the business he does. I do all kind of the back end stuff. So I'm so used to saying that. But even with that, to be honest, when I have to take a step back and I have to really be honest with myself, because I think that I am somebody who has always been the hardest critic of myself, and I need to acknowledge all of the things that I've accomplished and all of the successes that we've had so far, that sometimes what happens is when something good happens, or, you know, I accomplish something, I'm happy about it in the moment, but then I kind of almost put it to the back of my brain, and I'm constantly then moving forward to the next thing that I'm wanting to do. And I think that, you know, if I keep trying to move that goalpost out, then it's never going to actually feel like I'm quote unquote successful in the business and what I'm doing, even though I have done so much. When I look at it, when I really, you know, look back 3-4 years ago where I was then versus now, there's been so many things that have changed. And that's why I think that success in and of itself, it can be broken down into a couple different categories. I mean, there's, you know, financial success, yes, but there's also personal growth success. So just you as a person, how have you been successful with what you have experienced with growing the business, and how has that changed you? How have you evolved? Are you constantly growing? Are you constantly learning? You know, it's so different from, you know, the person that you are when you start a business from scratch and you grow it than if you were to, let's say, pay for a business and, you know, already get a business that's making X amount a month or X amount a year, and then kind of going from there. There's a different personal growth that you go through. And I think that being able to overcome the obstacles that jump in your path every second possible when you are trying to start up a business, if you can get over those obstacles, that in and of itself is a form of being successful, because you are successfully overcoming those obstacles in order to get where you need to go. And I think that there are many of us that have a lot of different personal obstacles that get in the way. So for me, I recently, over the past couple years, have kind of learned that I don't know if I officially have it or not, but I definitely feel like I have some ADHD tendencies, and that in and of itself has been a huge challenge when it comes to running this business. Sorry, I actually had to take just a quick break because my son woke up and he's actually with me right now on the very last half of the podcast because, you know, I'm a mom now and that's just how it is. And that's another thing that I could talk about, of something else that is another obstacle, you could say, when it comes to running a business, because of course, you know, there are sacrifices and pros and cons and all this kind of stuff about running your own business and being a parent at the same time, because you do have the freedom when you are running your own business. And I technically have multiple businesses with the candle business, YouTube, and then also my digital product business that I have. So there's multiple different businesses that I'm running at the same time, of also being a stay-at-home mom and having that be, you know, a huge part of my life now. So there are just, you know, a bunch of different things that contribute to different obstacles that could be, you know, something that you personally are trying to get over. And like I was mentioning before I took a quick break, I do think that potentially I do have some ADHD tendencies, specifically when it comes to executive functioning. So I would definitely say that I have executive dysfunction. I have never, ever been good at organizing, prioritizing tasks. That kind of stuff overwhelms me so much. And that has been a huge obstacle for me in my business because it takes me way too long to figure out the next step, the planning, and going about, trying to organize things, which is why having Chris now in the business is a huge, huge benefit to the business, because my weaknesses are his strengths and his weaknesses are my strengths. So we really balance each other out in the business. And thank goodness one of us is good at organizing and prioritizing things, because man, I am not that person, and it's okay that I'm not that person. I can't be everything. I can't do everything, but it doesn't mean that I haven't been successful up until now with the things that I've accomplished. Just because we're not making hundreds of thousands of dollars in the business doesn't mean that we're not successful. There are so many things, little bits of success that you can kind of pinpoint with as you were growing your business. So as I was stating before, there's like the personal part of you that has grown and things that you can be successful with your business. There are also the financial side. So if you're hitting certain financial goals, if you're making, X amount in your business, let's say for you, for your first year in business, let's say all you want to do is sell $5,000 worth of candles. And to you, that would be a successful first year in business. I think that success is so unique and so tailored to so many different kinds of businesses out there, and not everybody wants to be a multi-million-dollar business, or even over six figures, over 100,000, 200,000, whatever that is. Not everybody wants to be like that. So I think that what's really hard is that when we talk about the word success, I think that the first thing most people think of is money, is how much money is made. But the funny part is that it's so unique and individual to everybody. So let's say, somebody is just wanting to supplement and earn some extra money on the weekend. And to you, that is a successful business because you're able to have some extra grocery money or spending money or vacation money or just whatever it is. Or maybe you're somebody who you are just wanting to find another purpose in life. You're wanting to create something. You're wanting a creative outlet. You're wanting to find something that you are really, really passionate about. And to you, being able to fulfill that desire is successful for you. So you see where I'm going with this, that there are so many different variations of success, so many different ways that people think about it and how it can be interpreted and be so unique to you and your business and your journey. And I think that the best way to think about it is that if you are somebody who is wanting to continue growing, continue getting better at whatever it is that you're doing, that can be a definition of success. So if you are constantly getting better at making candles, at taking product photography, you're getting better at marketing, you're getting better at being more confident at vendor events, whatever it is, you can look at that as being successful. It doesn't have to just be a dollar figure. It can be something that you feel like you've accomplished a goal that you've set forth, or you're working on accomplishing that goal. Because if I just look at everything as being a dollar figure, honestly, technically, I was less successful last year than I was in 2022. Overall, with all of the streams of income, we actually made a little bit less last year than we did in 2022. But specifically with the candle business, we actually made more than we did the year before with the candle business. So that to me, I looked at as a success, even though overall we're not profitable in the business yet. So technically somebody looking inward could be like, you're just a hobby. You're not a business yet because you're not profitable. So you're not successful. And I know that we're headed that way, that we are going to be profitable, and we're doing better and better every year. And as long as we keep moving forward and keep growing, that's all that I care about. I mean, we now are building, our family, our life, everything that we're doing right now is successful in what we have built together. I mean, the teamwork that Chris and I have, I think is successful. The direction that we are in life, I think is successful. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can think about it. And it really helped me think about this topic Because again, I'm definitely somebody who has always thought about it as just kind of a money thing, and it's not at all like that, I don't think. I think that there's so many different ways that you can look at success. But with that, I am going to end today's podcast episode here. Thank you for letting me have a little co-host at the end. You probably heard him making some baby noises a little bit, but he's actually been pretty good, haven't you? I mean, been pretty good. He may make an appearance on other podcast episodes. You may hear some baby noises in future episodes. But with that, we're going to end today's podcast episode. Please feel free to leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube. Let me know what you think of today's episode and give me your definition of what you think successful is. But I will see you in the next episode.